going to my mind's going blank now. What's happening? What, I can't remember. I'm gonna lose track. My mind's going blank now. What are you talking about? What the hell's going on here? Where the hell are we? My mind's going blank now. I can't remember. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. What am I doing here? My mind's going blank now. Where am I headed? I keep forgetting I'm president. Where am I? No idea. Last night on the television, I was on a telephone rapidly rising and with I don't know. COVID has taken more than 100 years. Look, here's lives reflected in the NHEI. America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was the foot in the we're going to seize the ill-begotten gains of Putin's kleptocracy. Yeah. NATO's purpose is to defend against aggression. Let me make that near and dear to you that you like to be able to. Anyway. My mind's going blank now. What's happening? What, I can't remember. I'm gonna lose track. My mind's going blank now. What are you talking about? What the hell's going on here? Where the hell are we? My mind's going blank now. I can't remember. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. What am I doing here? My mind's going blank now. Where am I headed? I keep forgetting I'm president. Where am I? No idea. I don't think as the idea that political coverage. I want to thank and recognize Dr. John Kingersong. Good song. I can't get this to function at all. My mind's going blank now. What's happening? What, I can't remember. I'm gonna lose track. My mind's going blank now. What are you talking about? What the hell's going on here? Where the hell are we? My mind's going blank now. I can't remember. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. What am I doing here? My mind's going blank now. Where am I headed? I keep forgetting I'm president. Where am I? No idea.
I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Monday, December 9th, 2024. All the news that's fit to be the news. All the news that's fit to be reported right here on Chris Wyatt Reports. Hope you're doing well around the world, folks. Wyatt Reports. Hope you're doing well around the world, folks. Sound is pretty good. All right, just checking on that microphone. Yeah, I'm not sure if I've solved the problem, but I'm sure it'll creep up occasionally. We're still having trouble with Streamlabs crashing. It crashed twice as I tried to start this broadcast at the top of the hour. But thank you, folks. Welcome back. It is Monday. Hey, how's it going? Good start to the broadcast. Already 51 people lined up here to join us. Okay, so let's get into it. I'll say hello to all the folks in the audience, and then lots and lots of news to talk about. Syria has fallen. Bashar al-Assad's corrupt, tyrannic government is gone. The creepy Joe Biden administration is trying to take credit for the collapse of Assad, but it's simply not their doing. Just a few weeks ago, they were trying to end sanctions in November. End sanctions. Can you imagine that? After Trump won, they wanted to end sanctions against the Syrian regime, and now they're taking credit for it falling and claiming that the sanctions are the reason that it fell. The sanctions aren't the reason that it fell. The facade that was the Assad regime is the reason it fell, and there are a lot of beneficiaries and a lot of losers. The biggest losers, of course, are Iran. Their proxy state is gone. The second biggest losers, of course, are Russia. I would say the Assad family is the big losers, but they're sitting in a lap of luxury in Moscow right now, supposedly, so they're not really ones suffering. The Syrian people are big losers, but they're also big winners in this. The United States Biden regime is a big loser, although people say the U.S. has won because the Assad regime is gone. No, we now have the possibility of an Islamic State forming in there, and that is not a win for the U.S. or the world. It is quite the opposite. So we'll see what happens there, but lots more happening around the world. Let me say hello to everybody in the chat. Ants is here, in from PE, Garrett Gillich, Somerset West, Charles Van Olsen, down on the East Coast Radio! Yeah, I don't listen anymore. Used to listen to East Coast Radio. Emil Therrett is here. Welcome to you. Father-in-law passed away. Well, my thoughts and prayers to you, Emil. Condolences to you and your family on the passing of your father-in-law. Thank you for your presence today. Vilma Rasmus is here. Gary Wild is in again. How's it going, Gary? Val Cooper's back. As always, Val, how you doing there? Richard Kuhn is here. Hendo. Ray-Ban Figlin. Ray Bin Finland. Yeah, so he's just resigned. I just put that video up just before this broadcast. I had to get the right content. And the one thing I left out is that in that video, I didn't talk about the fact that he was in a position of power, an abusive situation in which that alone should have disqualified him from the office he was in. So, Charles Van Onselen, okay, what's got there? Erica's here. Well, Erica, how you doing today? Hope things are well. I just dropped a new video. That's correct. Charles Van Onselen. Paulie, the brains behind the operation. He's been really silent. I haven't heard from Paulie lately. So, yeah, I did hear from Courtney. He was asking me for a correct address. I think he wanted to mail me a Christmas card. What else we got there? Chris Ehlers is here. Hey, Chris, how you doing? Pablo Charlie's back. Did you enjoy your NFL Sunday, Pablo? I see that the worst 12-1 team in the history of the National Football League, the Kansas City Chiefs, won at the buzzer yesterday. Meerkat's Balk, welcome to you. Charmaine is here. Hey, Charmaine. And Alan Coates, Tony Nage is in from Alberta. Basketball's like soccer, trying to get the ball into a net except your hands instead of your feet. And it's a lot easier in soccer. You've got the side of a barn to hit at, whereas basketball, it's just this big. It's a peach basket. So a lot easier in soccer. Yep. And then Brian Lawrenson as well. And who have I missed here? Have I missed anybody? If I have, it's not intentional. Andres Willemans is laughing about the Joe Biden video. Yeah, that's pretty funny. That's one of the best videos ever. Go, Joe, go. Yeah, Joe will be gone soon, and he's ceding his presidency to Donald Trump. It's hilarious to watch. Never seen this before. Actually, truly ceding his presidency. His foreign policy is falling apart. His domestic policies are falling apart. And right here at my former place of work and place where I go for medical care and my financial things to do with my retirement, right down the road here, Carlisle Barracks is now going to be designated a national monument over the policies of progressive, woke leftists who destroyed the familial bonds of generations of Native Americans, and they're going to blame America for that. But it wasn't America, it was you political leftists, your political movement that did this, not the rest of us. We did not force Native Americans into the Carlisle Industrial School. You did that. So if you want shame, put shame on the political left. Don't put shame on America. America's not responsible. You're responsible. Charles Van Onselen is here. There's the brains behind the operation. They find the chemical weapons he uses people. Tony, not to my knowledge yet. Jed Phillips is here. Welcome, Jed. Moan Ray Siebert's in from Cape Town. Flushing in from the UK, along with Hendo, Dirk DePrier. Welcome to you, Dirk. NBA is losing money, declining viewership for a reason. Yes, because it's the all-black supremacy league and the pro-communist league, and nobody cares for black supremacy or white supremacy or pro-China. It just doesn't work. Slippery Pickle, how unbelievably hot it was today. Who suffered? Oh, it's lovely here, man. It's 42 degrees, although it's raining. So that's about 4 degrees above Celsius here. RJ, welcome to you. And what else? Okay, suspect Biden will pardon all illegals. It's not possible. Not possible. Not possible. Although, you know, it's a question. Someone might ask that question. Yep. Okay. All right. So, all right. Let's get to the news. Lots to talk about here. First off out of the gate, Julius Malema is once again in the docket for criminal charges, this time over his dangerous firing of live ammunition at a public event. Firing live ammunition to the crowd. JJ Julius Jr. has found to be evasive and untrustworthy, according to the government. EFF leader Julius Malema and his co-accused Adrian Sneyman appeared in the East London Regional Court today. They were charged with contravening the provisions of the Firearms Control Act after Malema was captured on video allegedly firing shots from a firearm in 2018. Sorry. It's not allegedly. He wasn't firing rockets. He wasn't firing mortar rounds. The gun discharged. He fired a gun. There's no allegedly. You don't need a conviction to see that. We can see that with our own eyes. You can't refute that. It's not allegedly. State maintains that EFF leader Julius Malema has been evasive, untrustworthy, and dishonest in the firearm discharge case. Well, convict him. This is the one case they ought to be able to convict him hands down. The illegal miners in Stilfontein, the total number of miners that have come out thus far, 1,420 illegal Zamazamas have surfaced since the start of the operation. 153 surfaced at the abandoned mine in a 3-day period in Sabi as well. The Sabi operation is over. That was a rescue operation for illegal Zamazamas who were trapped. They weren't hiding underground. They simply could not escape because they're foolish enough to go down to a mine that's unsafe. Leah Menards here. Welcome. 1,420 illegal miners in that Stilfontein cave have surfaced so far, and there are more still below ground. The George Deputy Mayor, that's the video I just published, analysis. In that video, I do mention one former member of Parliament, Ronaldo Jos, in case you're curious about that. He is mentioned in the video, although he has nothing to do with it. I'm just pulling out the hypocrisy of the Democratic Alliance. George Deputy Mayor resigns after being cleared on allegations of sexting a matric pupil. Yeah, but he wasn't cleared of allegations. The DA is covering up what he did. Yep. Rabin Figlin, the controversial DA, deputy mayor of George, faced allegations of sexting. He resigned just hours before a good party vote of no confidence to remove him from office. Yep. Well, one person shot and 4 others arrested after they murdered a 52-year-old farmer in the Free State and kidnapped his wife for God knows what. 52-year-old man was killed on his farm near Rouville. His wife was kidnapped during the incident and rescued shortly afterwards. Actually, it was the next day, if I'm not mistaken. One person killed in a police shootout after a Free State farmer was murdered the weekend. 4 others arrested during an operation to rescue the farmer's wife. Police spokesman Captain Lorraine Earle said that on Sunday morning, police were alerted to an incident on a farm in the Goedemode policing district where a 52-year-old man was killed with his wife, and his wife was kidnapped, Police alerted by the farming community in Rouville about a possible murder of a farmer. Upon arrival, officers discovered the body of the farmer who had been shot in the head. It was later determined that his wife had been kidnapped during the attack. She said that a vehicle stolen during the attack was traced to a farm in the Tierpoort area. The Bloemfontein flying squad was activated and successfully tracked down the vehicle with the wife still with the suspect. She was rescued and is receiving medical attention to determine if more charges should be added. Well, I don't need to be gross or intrude on the person's privacy, but more charges be added. It's either assault or rape. Take your pick. Something happened to her. These are sick people. My sincere condolences to the family for the loss. A team of experienced detectives and experts will ensure that the perpetrators are brought to justice, said Provincial Police Commissioner Lieutenant General Bale Motsowan-Wenyane. Well, I hope you're right, General. I hope you're right, but it doesn't bring the man back, so that's not satisfactory. Prevention of crime is what's satisfactory, not responding after the fact. That is secondary. You must prevent crime first. You must present a credible deterrent to those who wish to commit these offenses. And SAPS doesn't present that, nor is the South African justice system, which allows criminals to get away with impunity. Flight delays at OR Tambo. Now the South African government can't even get planes in the air because it can't refuel. The incompetence of airports company South Africa is shocking. Airlines operating at OR Tambo Airport in Johannesburg are experiencing significant delays today as a result of refueling challenges. Please be advised that due to refueling challenges at OR Tambo Airport, airlines are unable to refuel aircraft as normal. As a result, flights may experience delays, said Airports Company South Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, Airports Company South Africa is a parastatal owned by the government. The government claims they don't own it, but that's a lie. It's a parastatal. It is owned by the government of South Africa, and it is incompetent when it can't refuel planes. Why cannot refuel planes? Did it run out of fuel? Are the fuel pumps broken? Do they not have enough fuel handlers? Did they not pay the bill? How does this happen in one of the busiest airports in all of Africa? Well, it happens because the African National Congress is incompetent, corrupt, and mischievous, and that's what happens. Airports Company South Africa has failed to refuel planes at OR Tambo. Where's Arctic when we need him? Is he in South Africa, or is he here in the States, or is he in the air right now? Arctic, if you're in the air, it says free bird to tower. All right, South African Airways have resumed operations, but apparently that'll be affected by the fuel shortage or fuel issue at OR Tambo. As they ended their strike, the greedy pilots got themselves a pay rise. South African Airways pilots resumed normal operations yesterday after striking for 100 pilots. Got a pay rise. They wanted to get a huge pay raise, but they had lowered it from 35% to just 15.7%, and the airline offered an additional 1% from what they originally offered. That means they get a 9.47% pay rise, which means that your flights will cost more, as that's money out of your pocket for the greedy pilots. Yep, a senior member of the Action SA party, Herman Mashaba's vanity project, is apparently leaving Action SA for the DA. And let me just be very clear about something. Here's an editorial. This isn't news. This is editorial. This needs to stop. Action SA, DA, grow up. Stop being children. This nonsense in Schwani, this nonsense in Johannesburg, this nonsense between Herman Mashaba, who is somehow bumhurt at the DA. You need to get over yourselves. You DA, you need to grow up and be adults. Stop it. Stop it. The mission is to remove the leftists from power. Yes, I know the DA's leftist, but they're not horrible leftists. They're just leftists. The mission is to keep MK, EFF, and ANC out of power and out of controlling the lives and destroying South Africa's economy, its property rights, its legal system, and public safety. That's the mission, and to grow the economy. And you don't do that by attacking each other. Stop being children. Stop being children. This is unbelievable. Senior member of Action SA quits party to join DA, but the DA keeps us in suspense. They can't tell us who it is. Who is it? Is it Herman? It's not Herman. Is it Michael Beaumont? It's not Michael Beaumont. The DA announced on Sunday that a senior member of Action SA had quit the party and will be joining the DA in Schwane. It's in a statement on Sunday, the DA's Franco Fundenberg said the name of the Action SA member would be revealed during a media briefing on Monday. So when is the briefing? It is already evening. Did they reveal it? Let's go to the DA's Twitter page. I haven't gone there. Let's go to the Twitter page of our DA. The DA gets things done. Let's see if they got things done. DA. There you go. Our DA. Let's see what our DA has to say. Did they announce? No. Budget. Latrines. No. Safe School app. All about Sevilla Garuba. Nope. I see nothing here. Nope. Nothing. Nothing on their page. 6 hours ago. Let's see. Keep going back here. Keep going back. So, nope. Parliamentary review. Nope, nothing today. The DA has released nothing that I can see. Does anybody know? Anybody got an answer? Has DA released who this action NSA person is? Yeah, they're keeping in suspense. Well, please extend the deadline for 6 months. Now, that's actually a reasonable amount of time. 90 days or 6 months, given the ineptitude of the African National Congress's bureaucracy. Registering a spaza shop, you should give people this kind of time. Hey, Shawnee, how's it going? Extend deadline by 6 months. Foreign spaza shop owners plead with Ron Poser for more time. Well, all spaza shop owners should plead for more time, not just foreigners. 21 deadline for owners of spaza shops to register business is looming, but some have voiced concerns that they will not have completed the stringent process. Well, yes, because it's intentional. The process is meant to destroy these businesses and chase people out. Patrick, using his member 3-year super chat, says DA needs to grow up. Agreed. Emil Therrick, 22 months, says ANC calling for Minister of Education to be fired. Yeah, that's because she's getting the job done. They don't like that. They don't want people to be educated in South Africa. Thabo Mbeki pops his head up like Puxatani Phil to criticize his own political party once again, saying they've lost the plot. Well, he should have been saying this in 2008, not 2024. Saying they've abandoned the social compact. Well, duh, because they're greedy thieves, Thabo. They're just greedy thieves. In his latest dig at the ANC, former President Thabo Mbeki has accused the party of abandoning the social compact aimed at addressing high levels of unemployment and poverty. And he didn't stop there. He also accused ANC's National Executive Committee, the party's highest decision-making body, of failing to implement renewal. Stop with this renewal. There's no renewal. What are you renewing? You never had it to begin with. You've never governed satisfactorily as the global ruling party. What are you renewing? Your commitment to communism, to socialism, to racism? If you're going to renew something, renew your commitment to non-racialism, which you've abandoned long ago. Renew your commitment to market capital, which you've abandoned long ago. Renew your commitment to the people of South Africa. That's what you need to renew, not renew your party structures. Your party is corrupt. It's ossified. It's a fossil. It is a thieving, kleptocratic organization. That is the African National Congress. Where did the money come from to pay for your 112th birthday bash? Where did the money come from to pay your $104 million debt to a party organizer from your previous election, 2019? Suddenly appeared out of thin air. Tehran, Beijing, Moscow. Where did the money come from? Oh, our ANC. Tell us where it came from. Yes. Well, initiation deaths are on the rise in Eastern Cape, where these things are being done illegally. Initiation season's kicked off since the summer started, and there have already been deaths of initiates that healthcare professionals say could have been prevented. Eastern Cape Traditional Affairs Department announced that 8 boys died, with fears that this count might rise. Well, of course it's going to rise, because this is dangerous behavior. It's barbaric, but we protect it because it's cultural. It's cultural. Yes, just like the slicing the genitalia off of little girls. Yeah, that's cultural. It's not religious. Well, congratulations to the Blitzbach. The Blitzbach are back. The boys are back in town, folks, in the mother city of Cape Town. Over the weekend at DHL Green Point Stadium, the Blitzbach win the Cape Town Sevens for the first time since 2015. Wow. Welcome back, boys. Welcome back. There it is. Look at that. HSBC Sevens Cape Town winners are the Blitzbach. Yes, indeed. Home crowd lifted the roof off Cape Town Stadium as their heroes, South Africa, came from behind against France in a thrilling final to lift the trophy. France, who had never beaten South Africa in Cape Town in 10 previous attempts, scored the first try in an intense final, but the Blitzboks were not going to be denied following their disappointment in Dubai the previous weekend. The win lifted South Africa to 4th in the HSBC 7 season standings, level on points with France and 6 points adrift of Fiji. Spain, second place finish in a row. They finished with a 4th this weekend, They remain in second place. South Africa beat France 26-14 in a thriller of a final to claim their first Sevens title in Cape Town in 9 years. Wow. Meanwhile, the USA women, 5 of them failed to put their hands over the hearts during the national anthem, shaming America. They should be stripped of their membership of the U.S. national team and not allowed to perform for a country they clearly hate. If you can't show the minimum basic respect for the nation during our anthem, then you shouldn't be wearing our colors. End of commentary. They came in second. Well, the World Health Organization is a race to identify an undiagnosed illness that's ravaging kids in the DRC. I've talked about this last week. 31 cases have been registered. Wow. Mostly under the age of 5 have died from undiagnosed disease in the remote Kwango province of the DRC. The sick present with symptoms of fever, headache, cough, runny nose, body ache. All have severe cases reported to be severely malnourished. Well, I suspect that may be a contributing factor if they're malnourished. Ghana has reelected President Mahama years after he left office. Ghana's former president John Dramani Mahama won a historic comeback election on Sunday after the ruling party accepted defeat, with voters appearing to punish them for the government's handling of an economic crisis. Ghana's election agency has yet to release official results, but New Patriotic Party candidate Vice President Mahadima Bawuma conceded Ghanaians wanted change after he failed to shake off widespread frustration over the high cost of living. His defeat ended 8 years in power for the NPP under President Nana Akufo-Addo, whose last term was marked by the West African state's worst economic turmoil in years, high inflation, and a debt default. Well, that's part of the course for Ghana, debt default. We're always forgiving their debt. A motorcycle attacker kills 21 on a bus in western Niger. Good Lord. The attack last Thursday near the town of Terra, 175 kilometers west of Niamey and close to the border of Burkina Faso, came at a time of heightened violence in the Sahel, where military rulers have kicked out Western forces and turned to Russia and others for support. The target was a public transport bus traveling between the town of Bankiare and Terra in the Tillabéri region. 21 people murdered. Wow. Well, how's that military coup going for you there? Well, over the weekend, the Syrian government fell. For those of you who missed it, 50 years of the Assad family. First, it was Hafez Assad, then his son Bashir al-Assad, ruling his country for 5 decades, running it as a personal fiefdom, launching endless wars against Israel. The Syrian government fell early Sunday in a stunning end to 50-year rule of the Assad family after sudden rebel offensives sprinted across government-held territory and entered the capital in 10 days. Syrian state television aired a video statement by a group of men saying the president, Bashar Assad, had been overthrown and all detainees in jails have been set free, including, no doubt, murderers, rapists, and thieves, because they just let people out of jail. Free pass. Well, rebels are now exerting their control over Damascus as Assad has given sanctuary in Moscow. Although hundreds of political prisoners have been released, many more are trapped underground in the red cells at the notorious Saidanyana prison. And here you can see a ZUSU 23-4 blocking an exit ramp and an entrance ramp, and also a T-64 blocking a ramp there. Cray in Syria. The Russians have given asylum to deposed President Assad. The decision comes amid concerns over Russian military bases in Syria. They have a naval base and air base there, and what's going to happen to it now? Russian authorities have granted political asylum, said Al Jazeera's Yulia Shapranova, reporting from Moscow. We see reports on our end that Russia has not abandoned the resigned Syrian president in such difficult circumstances. Al-Assad was allegedly evacuated by a Russian plane from the Russian air base in Latakia. Well, he got out. Unlike Ceausescu, he got out. Of course, Ceausescu pissed off the Soviet Union, said they were happy to see him murdered. Assad has been doing the bidding of the Russians for years, and they don't want to see anything happen to him. So notice he didn't go to Tehran. Meanwhile, in the vacuum of what's happening in Syria, Israel has seized the remainder of the Golan Heights, what they have not had control of, putting a buffer zone between them and Syrians. Israel's prime minister announced the military has temporarily seized control of a demilitarized buffer zone in the Golan Heights, saying the 1974 disengagement agreement with Syria had collapsed with the rebel takeover of the country. Netanyahu said he ordered the IDF to enter the buffer zone and commanding positions nearby from the Israeli-occupied part of the Golan. We will not allow any hostile force to establish itself on our border, says Netanyahu. Israel. Meanwhile, Benjamin Netanyahu is set to appear in court to take the witness stand in the corruption trial. Wow. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is set to take the witness stand tomorrow for the first time in his trial on corruption allegations, a pivotal point in the drawn-out proceedings that come as the leader wages war in Gaza and faces international arrest warrant, which is illegitimate for war crimes charges from a body that has no jurisdiction over him or the territory where the crimes allegedly occurred. South Korea's Justice Ministry has imposed a travel ban on President Yoon over martial law, which is puzzling given the fact that President Yoon legally declared martial law and then legally rescinded it when Parliament overrode his decision. So why are they putting a travel ban on him? Probably afraid he's going to disappear like Assad did. South Korea's Justice Ministry on Monday Imposed an overseas travel ban on President Yoon Suk Yeol as authorities investigate allegations of rebellion and other charges in connection with his short-lived declaration of martial law. His martial law decree last Tuesday, which brought special forces troops into Seoul streets, plunged South Korea into political turmoil and caused worry among its key diplomatic partners. On Saturday, he avoided an opposition-led bid to impeach him, with most governing party lawmakers boycotting parliamentary vote. But they will try to impeach him again this week. Bae Sang-yup, a Justice Ministry official, told parliamentary hearing that it banned Yoon from leaving the country following requests by police, prosecutors, and anti-corruption agencies to expand their probes into the circumstances surrounding his power grab. Well, it wasn't a power grab. He was in power. It was his suspension of law and order. That's a different story. Get it right. Well, South Korea has also detained former defense chief over martial law imposition. South Korean prosecutors yesterday detained former defense minister who allegedly recommended last week brief but stunning martial law imposition. Development came a day after they avoided an opposition-led bid to impeach the president. On Sunday, ex-defense minister Kim Jong-un was taken into custody at a Seoul detention facility after undergoing an investigation by prosecutors, a law enforcement official said, requesting anonymity in line with privacy rules. Again, these officials followed the law, so why are they being detained? Why are they being detained? The Prime Minister of Tonga suddenly resigned. Siasui Sovaleni told Parliament he would quit just moments before lawmakers decided his future in a vote of no confidence. He's stepping down in the wake of power struggle with the royal family. Tonga's Prime Minister abruptly resigned today from his office. Yes, the Prime Minister has resigned, but we are not sure what happens next, said Parliament official Rhonda Houfanger told the French press agency. It's not immediately clear who would replace him, as he's occupied the top job since 2021, although a no-confidence vote was led by rival and veteran politician Isiki Eki. So, Tonga, political upheaval. Ukraine will receive an additional $1 billion of defense aid, on top of the $700 million just announced a few days ago and the $300 million announced a few days before that, and the $425 million announced before that. Wow, Joe Biden is really going all out to destroy peace and security in Eastern Europe. Pentagon made the announcement as Washington races to provide aid to Kiev before Trump takes office. 1,019 days of conflict in Ukraine. The United States on Saturday announced a new $988 million security assistance package for Ukraine as Washington races to provide aid to Kiev before President-elect Trump takes office. This follows a $725 million package announced on Monday. Why in the world is this happening? Where is the outrage? Where is the umbrage? Where are people standing up for what's right? It is insane. Why is this not happening? To the 95 people currently here, thank you for watching the program. Merry Christmas to one and all. And thank you for being here. Rheinmetall, a German company which has ties to South Africa defense industry, and Oteron will develop standardized software for military drones. The German and Swiss collaborative effort will standardize operational software for drones. We see over 200 different aerial unmanned vehicles in Ukraine. This makes military training very costly and time-consuming, and system interoperability is not guaranteed. Cooperation with Outeron and development of homogeneous operating system will enable the efficient and scalable deployment of unmanned systems. It will also allow someone remotely to take control of all your drones and use them against you. It will also allow Skynet to take over. Yes, while Rheinmetall and Oteron hail this as a great effort, I issue concern and raise issues of concern. Yeah, easy to break into. Hey, climate zealots, you people bowing down and kneeling at the altar of climate change. How about this? Did you realize that the gravitational pull of Mars, a tiny little planet closer to the sun, which perturbates against the Earth as we reach the closest point between the two and pulls at us, is actually raising the temperature on Earth? It's not just the carbon dioxide that you claim it is. You see, it's a holistic system, Our weather is affected by solar storms, solar radiation, cosmic radiation, the cosmic microwave background, and the gravitational pull of other planets like Jupiter and even Mars. So, wow. What are you going to do about that? What are you going to do? Are you going to send all the leftists to Mars to slow down its gravitational pull against the Earth? There's an idea. Mars gravity pulls Earth closer to the sun, warming our climate. Look at that. New research hints at a fascinating and completely unexpected connection between Mars' gravitational field and Earth's climate. Geological evidence spanning 65 million years suggests that deep-sea currents on Earth undergo recurring cycles of strength every 2.4 million years. This is in line with Mars' gravitational pull on the Earth. Wow, we're looking at 64 million years of data now, not 110 years of climate data, which the climate zealots are, Yes, that's correct, Tony. The moon is leaving us at 2 inches every year. So millions of years ago, the moon would have been huge in the sky. Now it's big. It's not huge. Well, a massacre in Haiti over voodoo. 180 or 200 people butchered in Haiti. The killings in Port-au-Prince slum, which appeared to target practitioners of voodoo, were ordered by a gang leader, according to the Haitian Human Rights Group. More than 180 people were killed in a massacre over the weekend in one of the poorest neighborhoods of Haiti's capital. A leading Haitian human rights group described the killings as personal vendetta of a gang boss who had been told that witchcraft caused his son's fatal illness. The slaughter began on Friday in the Wharf Germain section of Cité Soleil, a sprawling slum of Port-au-Prince. Older people who practice voodoo appeared to have been targeted. That assessment was backed by another rights group, Cité Soleil resident. Nearly 130 of those who were killed were over 60 years of age, adding that gang members burned bodies and flung them into the sea. The brutality of the killings reflect the country enduring an accelerating spiral into the abyss, said William O'Neill, the UN's human rights expert for Haiti. Well, yeah, because the Haitians are just, and we let them in our country. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. So I'm going to get grilled for that. That's very insensitive, very inhumane. No, it's not. It's your country. It's your culture. You created this garbage, and then some of you bring your voodoo beliefs here. Wow. Desperate Haitians who fled the Dominican Republic are being sent home in cages. MSNBC, Fox News, ABC, CBS, New York Times, Washington Post, Chicago Tribune, Guardian. Are you paying attention to this? Haitians are being sent home in cages. Where's your uproar? Where's your outrage? Dominican Republic is on the same island of Hispaniola not Hispaniola. It's on the same island as Haiti. They're loading them in cages. They're shipping them home in cages. Illegal immigrants, criminal alien invaders. This is how they deal with it. But my goodness, we don't want to having free hotels and kicking veterans out of hotels in New York. And we are racist and xenophobes. Desperate Haitians who fled to the Dominican Republic are being sent back in cages. Relations between the two neighboring countries on the island of Hispaniola have long been frosty. They're now complicated by up to 10,000 deportations per week. 10,000. Cage-like trucks fitted with iron bars that appear designed to carry livestock line up every morning at the border between Haiti and Dominican Republic. The vehicles at the Elias Piña border are crossing not loaded with cattle, but with Haitians being deported by the Dominican authorities. They include young men, pregnant women, unaccompanied children, and some people who have never lived in Haiti. Since October, more than 71,000 people have been deported to Haiti. Rose Meline Florville, 24, who lived in the Dominican Republic for less than a year, said immigration agents recently raided her house in Santiago one day before dawn and said something along the lines, "Black woman, come here. I couldn't run because I'm pregnant." The extraordinary wave of deportations reflects a stringent new immigrant policy in a country with a complicated and racially charged history. The two nations share the island of Hispaniola, and the Dominican Republic, the far more prosperous two, is sounding increasingly loud alarms about shouldering the burden of what experts say is a failing state next door. And here's one of the cages. Look at all those children in there. The Dominican authorities say they've had enough. The general feeling in the Dominican Republic is that we are providing social services greater than what the Dominican Republic is responsible for. Since Haiti's last president was assassinated 3 years ago, the country has been convulsed by gang violence, left 12,000 people dead, and forced 800,000 people from their homes. But here are the cages. This is how they are sending Haitians back. And unlike America, they're actually building a wall. Look at that. There's the wall between the countries. Wow. Trump calls for an immediate ceasefire in Ukraine. As Joe Biden slinks away and does nothing in the global stage, which he set on fire, Donald Trump is calling for an immediate ceasefire after meeting with the grifter-in-chief Volodymyr Zelensky. U.S. President-elect claims Kiev would like to make a deal with end of war with Russia and cites the loss of 400,000 soldiers. Trump has called for an immediate ceasefire in Ukraine a day after meeting with the Ukrainian president. In a post on Truth Social, he said both sides suffer enormous losses, which he claimed on the U.S. election campaign trail he would be able to end within 24 hours. There should be an immediate ceasefire. Negotiations should begin. Too many lives being needlessly wasted. Too many families destroyed, Trump said. Yep. He said Kiev has ridiculously lost 400,000 soldiers and many more civilians. Wow. Donald Trump signals that families with mixed immigration status may be deported and vows to end birthright citizenship. That's for people who have anchor babies. The only way you don't get to break up families is if you keep them together, and you have to send them all back, the president-elect said. President-elect Donald Trump said in a new interview that he would work to end birthright citizenship and signaled that he could deport families with mixed immigration status. Trump's mass deportation proposal was a major component of his victory, and the president-elect said he would declare a national emergency over the matter. I don't want to be breaking up families, so the only way you don't break up families is you keep them together, and you have to send them all back. He did an interview with Kristen Welker on Meet the Press yesterday. Asked by Welker about what could mean for families and children who are in the U.S. illegally despite their parents in the country illegally, Trump said, well, what you got to do is you want them to keep them with their father. Look, we have the rules and regulations. Yep. There you go. There you go. Joe Biden is, according to the Wall Street Journal, is ceding his presidency to Donald Trump. All the world leaders are talking to Trump, not to Biden. Surprise, surprise. Biden is demented. Trump is cogent. Biden is ceding his presidential influence to Trump, and some Democrats are furious. The president-elect doesn't take office until January 20th, but he's negotiating with foreign leaders. Yeah, well, they should be negotiating with him. This guy is lost. Wow. While Biden remained in Washington, it was the president-elect who met Saturday with Emmanuel Macron and Volodymyr Zelensky, who were lobbying Trump to continue the wartime support. Yep. Biden's muted presence is in contrast to how President Obama hailed Trump's first election victory. When Trump was president-elect, Obama called the administration to veto when Trump, as president-elect, called on the administration to veto UN Security Council resolution criticizing expansion of Israeli settlements, Obama brushed it off and told the press there's one president at a time. Yeah, but Barry, you're not the president. Thank God. You're gone. Well, Joe Biden pledged his support to Syria. To who, Joe? Who? The Islamist? The president described the fall of the regime as a moment of historic opportunity for Syrians and a moment of risk and uncertainty. Well, thank you, Joe. Did you see this thing? I mean, it was painful watching him read the teleprompter. He can barely read. Biden is racing to stabilize Syria after the regime's collapse. How? Why? Who? Stay out. Let the dust settle. This is not a place for us to be involved. Well, Trump allies are dangling primarying senators if they oppose Trump's picks for office for his nominations. And I agree. We should primary Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, and the endless list of rhinos. Yes. Yep. Absolutely. So Trump allies dangle primary threats over GOP senators wavering over cabinet picks. Senate Republicans who block President Trump's nominees face an increasing threat of primary challenges from MAGA operatives fighting for Trump's anti-establishment picks. Political groups aligned with Trump are eyeing Republican senators for re-election in 2026. Yep. Trump allies are watching Senator Joni Ernst of Iowa. She needs to go. A half a dozen senators wavering on the nomination. So John Cornyn, Lindsey Graham, Tom Tillis, Mike Rounds, and Susan Collins all up for election, all of which need to be primaried. None of them are Republicans. They're rhinos. Trump says that the members of the January 6th fake investigation committee should be jailed. And I agree 100%. Trump is spot on. The president-elect said he would not instruct his pick for Attorney General to investigate Jack Smith, but that the January 6th people should be in jail. 45-minute interview. This is first since he won election. Everybody on that committee for what they did, yeah, honestly, they should go to jail, including former Congresswoman Liz Cheney, the top Republican fraud on the January 6th panel. And it was a fraudulent panel. They didn't allow any opposing testimony, any other evidence. They only listened to what they wanted to hear to paint a narrative that was fraudulent, to destroy this country and destroy Donald Trump. And they all should be, there should be a grand jury impaneled, and they should come out with indictments against these people. Adam Schiff is one of them. He'll be sworn in the Senate, filling the vacant seat, being appointed by gruesome Gavin Newsom. Yeah, Adam Schiff, Shifty Schiff, the biggest liar in Washington, D.C., short of Joe Biden. Democrat Adam Schiff stood on the Senate floor almost 5 years ago as a House impeachment manager and made a passionate case that Donald Trump should be removed from office. If right doesn't matter, we're lost. Well, right does matter, and you are a pathological liar. You have the proof of Trump collusion, except there was no Trump collusion. You made it all up, and you've not paid a price for that. Now you're a U.S. Senator. That's what's wrong with this world. Well, speaking of U.S. Senators, Laura Trump has resigned as a co-chair of the Republican Party after the massive victory for the Republicans in 2024. Speculation over that she'll be appointed to the rest of the term in the Florida Senate if Marco Rubio becomes the Secretary of State. Laura Trump said Sunday she's stepping down as co-chair of the Republican National Committee. The job I came to do is now complete, and I intend to formally step down from RNC at our next meeting. The daughter-in-law of President-elect Trump announced a change amid speculation she could be chosen to fill a potential U.S. Senate vacancy seat in Florida. Yes, well, she could be Senator Laura Trump. New York Police Department has released new images of the assassin of the United Healthcare Insurance CEO Brian Thompson. The manhunt continues in its fifth day. There's a picture of this clown inside a cab. Looks kind of Middle Eastern to me. Looks Middle Eastern. First reported by NBC News and New York Post, the images are the latest update on the search for the man sought in the December 4th killing of Thompson, a Maple Grove resident who worked at an insurance company for 20 years. And the left is calling open season on executives. These people need to be investigated for their criminal acts encouraging violence. Well, Joe Biden will designate a national monument right here in Carlisle, at Carlisle Barracks, at the former Indian boarding school, the industrial school. The monument will be located in Carlisle on the campus of former flagship facility for re-educating tribal children. The U.S. once had more than 400 federal Indian boarding schools in 37 states, and the most famous, of course, is Carlisle. And why? Because Jim Thorpe attended Carlisle. Jim Thorpe is a graduate of Carlisle Industrial School. Yep. And Biden is apologizing to Native Americans for the government's role in creating and operating Indian boarding schools done by leftists, progressives. We must know the good, the bad, the truth, he said. We do not erase history, but you do. You're erasing Southern history. You're erasing the history of the Civil War. You're erasing the history of America's founders. So we make history, learn from history, and remember we can heal as a nation. If only that's what the left wanted. From 1819 to 1969, the U.S. government operated or paid churches, religious groups to run more than 400 federal Indian boarding schools in 37 states. Carlisle Indian Industrial School, which opened in 1879, was the first government-run boarding school located off a reservation and was a model for hundreds of other facilities. Yep. A cemetery at the site of the Carlisle School, now home to the U.S. Army War College, marks some of the deaths that took place at the facility more than a century ago. The White House said the National Monument, which will be run by the National Park Service and the U.S. Army, will be designated to tell the full story of Carlisle and other schools where Indian students were brought in an attempt to eradicate their culture. What do you mean tell the full story? We know the story. Why are you trying to tell us? We don't need you to tell us the story. U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Richard Henry Pratt, the founder and superintendent of Carlisle, made no bones about his re-education goals, saying he wanted to kill the Indian in him and save the man. Yeah, but U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Richard Pratt isn't the one responsible for it. The Department of Interior ran it, not the Army. So I'm not sure why they're mentioning his rank. I believe in immersing the Indians in our area of civilization, and when we get them under, holding there until they are thoroughly soaked, he remarked in 1892. Upon arrival at school, children were stripped of their native dress and long hair, were forced to wear Western clothing, and convert to Christianity. Students were separated from their families and punished for speaking their native languages. All true. All done by progressives. Yep. So here's the fact sheet designating the Carlisle Federal Indian Boarding School National Monument. What a mouthful. Why don't you call it the Carlisle Industrial School Monument? Yep. From 1879 to when it ceased operations, the Carlisle School subjected 7,800 children from more than 140 Indian tribes, including Alaska and Native villages, to its coercive education program. The school served as a model for the federal Indian boarding school system, which operated throughout the early 19th and mid-20th centuries and comprised over 400 federally supported off-reservation schools across the United States, as well as hundreds of similar organizations operated by religious organizations. At least 973 Native children died in these schools, according to available federal records, and the children who survived often endured physical, emotional, and sexual abuse. Now, see, the problem with that is that they're implying that the children died because of abuse at school. That's not why most of these children died. Many of them died from smallpox and from influenza and from other things in childhood diseases that kids get, polio, things, all kinds of things. So this is a very dishonest statement by the White House. They didn't die from abuse, and they're offering no evidence of people dying from abuse. The rest of it's all true, and progressives did it, but you must report the truth, not make stuff up to fit your needs. Ronaldo's here. How's it going, Ronaldo? Yep. The new National Monument will be located in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, on 24.5 acres of what is now the U.S. Army's Carlisle Barracks. Our barracks comprise only 500 acres. Therefore, we'll be surrounding 24.5 acres of the most important terrain for this national monument, which means that the post will be inundated with civilians entering the post and endangering public safety and our access to our facilities, our medical facilities, and other things, so that Joe Biden can fulfill a wish to create this nonsense. Yep. The new national monument located in Carlisle Barracks, one of the nation's oldest military installations, started in 1759 by the British, by the way, 1759. The monument boundary encompasses the historic buildings and structures that made up the campus of the Carlisle School. I'm not sure which those buildings remain, including school road gate posts that were built by the labor of Native American children and youth at school. The gate posts still stand today as a marker of the removal and separation of children from their families, tribes, and homelands. The monument will be cooperative and managed by the National Park Service and U.S. Army. Great. So are they going to fund us to do it? Probably not. Yep. With the establishment of the new national monument, the Army will now transfer administrative jurisdiction over the gate post to the National Park Service, and the agencies will sign a memorandum of understanding to guide their cooperative management of the national monument. Well, there you go. Also, now this one's actually interesting, and this one I have no problem with, promoting native languages. The 10-year Native Language Revitalization Program, how much money though? While there was once hundreds of thriving native languages in the U.S., over three-quarters of the remaining 190 languages today are endangered. Studies indicate fewer than 20 languages will exist by 2050 if no action is taken. So they have a 10-year plan to expand access to immersion language environments, support community-led revitalization, develop, grow, and sustain native language support networks. Yeah, so where was this 50 years ago when we realized the code talkers were saving us? Yeah, it wasn't there. So take the Indian logo off. What else? If Trump can prove January 6th is a stolen vote and Biden is an illegal president, could Trump then prove all Biden's... if Trump can prove... No, that's not going to happen, Erica. I think that Biden did vote for Trump. Jay-Z has been accused of raping a 13-year-old girl as part of the white parties. Wow. With P. Diddy after MTV Video Music Awards in a shock civil lawsuit. Jay-Z was accused of sexually assaulting a 13-year-old girl alongside Sean Diddy Combs at a party after the 2000 MTV Video Awards. The accuser identifies herself as Jane Doe in legal documents reviewed by the Daily Mail, said the assault took place at a party after the award show. Wow. Wow. Jay-Z issued a lengthy statement on Sunday denying the claims made in the lawsuit. And they reached out to a Beyonce representative on this story. Wow. My lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter from a lawyer named Tony Busby. What he actually calculated was the nature of these allegations, and public scrutiny would make me want to settle. Well, that could very well be the case. Defund the police! Activist goes viral after she's robbed, and it whines about the cops. Oh my goodness. Wow, the cops didn't do The thieves made off with Darcy Bell's rented U-Haul truck. The San Francisco woman put out a call on X. If you see a 26-foot U-Haul truck with Arizona plate AL50003, would you let me know? Because it had like everything I own on it. The post went viral, not for the reason she hoped for. Bell spent years posting left-wing defund the police views, and users across the site blasted and mocked her. Anti-police activists begs police to help, jeered X account Bay State of Mind. Tom Wolf, an addiction and recovery advocate who has nearly 30,000 followers, posted a screenshot of the previous post in which Bell blasted San Francisco police along with a screenshot of her recent plea. Shot, chaser. There she is, Darcy Bells. Of course she's wearing a mask. What else? And look at her dyed hair. All right, Bell, who goes by Jerk Cousteau on X with the bio saying, we'll respond to all bad faith arguments with ad hominem attacks, returning fire. Mere hours after she filed a police report, she blasted the police for not immediately locating her stolen possessions. I haven't found my shit. The cops didn't do shit. U-Haul made me file an effing police report, she told the Post. The cameras all over the city. They haven't done shit. I just want my stuff back. Look at this whiny little leftist. Oh, but she didn't back down. To those accusing her of hypocrisy, she insisted she literally never called the cops and is reposting more calls to defund law enforcement for good measure. U-Haul urged her to alert authorities to the theft of its truck. Please be sure to contact us back when you provide the police report to the Equipment Recovery Department, the company's customer service account said. As for critics, she sneered at them. Look at these good Christian victim advocates celebrating my kids losing their belongings at Christmas. She fired at haters in general. Well, they didn't lose their gifts. They were stolen because idiots like you argued for the defunding of the San Francisco police, which has been done, and now they can't respond to crime. So you got what you deserve, and I hope you have a miserable Christmas, you wretch. The Black Solid Lady Soprano saying Amazing Grace, the opening. I did not see that. I heard someone sing it, but I didn't see it. Maybe she's being punished for not getting a 30th booster. Matthew, that's funny. What was funny, Tony? What did I say that was funny? Omnicom, it almost sounds ominous. Omnicom will acquire Interpublic. These are non sequitur names. These are massive advertising agencies, the ones that have removed white men from all advertising, the ones that have removed white people from all advertising and give the impression that this is Nigeria, with 85% of the people in our ads being black and the remainder being the occasional white woman who's a lesbian. Yeah. Anyway, and some Indians and some Asians, but no white folks, no white men. So let's see if this merger will change the landscape for advertising. I doubt it. Under the all-stock deal, Omnicom would exchange 0.344 shares for each Interpublic share. Yep. The combined entity would have net revenue of more than $20 billion based on 2023 figures. Expect to generate cost synergies of $750 million they're going to save. The strategic acquisition creates significant value for both sets of shareholders by combining world-class, highly complementary data and technology platforms. Yada, 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 yada. The merger of the world's third and fourth largest ad companies will usurp WPP as the world's biggest player and bring together some of the world's best-known ad brands. Yeah, and it's race hustling, so we'll see what happens there. Well, conservative watchdogs are calling for Pete Hegseth to purge the military of some of its woke people. The American Accountability Foundation sent a letter to former Fox Friends weekend hosts outlining 20 names of leaders across the military whom it deems successfully focused on DEI. And here are some of them. There you go. There's Lloyd Austin. Air Force Colonel Benjamin Johnson, who authored the Dear White Colonel op-ed back in 2020. That race hustler. And here's the op-ed from 2020. Dear White Colonel, we must address our blind spots by Colonel Ben Johnson. And there's the racist himself, Colonel Ben Johnson, with Nancy Pelosi, a leftist racist. Yep. Navy Vice Admiral Jeffrey Hughes, who spoke at the DI summit. Air Force Major General Elizabeth Arledge, who lauded RBG and railed against whiteness. As well as Navy Vice Admiral Shoshana Chatfield, who complained to Congress that 80% is male. Well, that's not true, 80%. Get real. Get real. Anyway, Air Force Brigadier General Corey Simons oversaw the DEI task force creation. These are some of the woke flag officers that they suggest be removed, and I agree with this 100%. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is just insane. Congratulations to him, but this is insane. This is why I don't go to New York Yankees games, although they do get free tickets to the military. That's nice of them. So, but I just don't go. $765 million, but not for the Yankees, but for the Mets. 26-year-old Hispanic in this systemically racist country gives a 26-year-old Hispanic a 15-year contract for $765 million to play baseball. Juan Soto is getting $765 million to play for 15 years. His total compensation could be over $800 million. Wow. To go play for the Mets. That's even more than the 10-year, $700 million pact that Shohei Ohtani signed with the Dodgers last December. So, a Japanese guy, Hispanic guy, $800 million, $865 million. But this is a systemically racist country. Oh, please. Please, 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 please. Please, 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 please. Stop the nonsense. Philip Marchant says, strange things are happening in world demography that only the advertising industry know about. Apparently there are no white people in South Africa. Yeah, no, and there's none in Ireland. There's none in America. Yeah, see, it is strange. I mean, the people that I see every day, I'm just imagining if they're white. They're not really white. Penny has been acquitted of the subway death. All accounts, are you talking about the latest? Daniel Penny. Has he been acquitted of the second charge? All right, he's been acquitted of the second one. Good. Good. All right. A Manhattan jury has cleared Daniel Penny of criminal wrongdoing in the chokehold death of Jordan Neely. The panelists acquitted Penny of criminally negligent homicide, which would put him behind bars for up to 4 years. Manslaughter, the top charge against him, was dismissed on Friday because they couldn't agree. Jurors sided with Penny's defense attorneys, argued that the Marine veteran was justified in rushing to protect his fellow subway strap hangers when he subdued the erratic homeless man. Who do you want in the next train ride with you, as lawyers ask? The guy with the earbuds, minding his own business, who you know will be there for you if something happened, or perhaps just hope that someone like Jordan Neely does not enter that train when you're all alone in a crowd of others frozen with fear. The acquittal comes after jurors heard from more than 40 witnesses. One strap hanger testified she was scared shitless hearing Neely ranting about being willing to die and go to jail. She later thanked Penny for stepping in to restrain Neely, who also raged that someone is going to die today. Another woman on the train told jurors that she feared for her life after Neely's satanic rant. Yep. Yet white liberals and black supremacists are protesting outside for a man who did the Good Samaritan Act and intervened. You are allowed to use deadly force to protect life and limb, which is what Daniel Penny did. His intent wasn't deadly force, but it turned out to be a contributing factor, apparently. The mother who was with her, a mother with her 5-year-old son, to a doctor's point, testified she was so scared of the belligerent, unhinged Neely that she barricaded her son behind his stroller. No witness testified that Neely put his hands on anyone or lunged at a specific person before Penny put him in a chokehold. Evidence during the month-long trial revealed that Neely was not carrying a weapon, with cops finding only a muffin in his pocket. The polarizing case kicked off fierce conversation about the mentally ill man who was failed by the city's broken system. So here's what I find fascinating about this whole situation. And there's many parallels here, but this is the most obvious one here. So this is the image of what happened on the train. Someone took this picture. Okay, why are we not there? Here you go. Here you go. Daniel Penny, and he's holding the man. Notice the black man who's restraining the arms of Jordan Neely. The black man was not charged with any crime. Only the white man, Jordan Neely. This picture speaks 1,000 words. The Arabic guy standing up, not charged with a crime, watching it happen. The black man restraining Jordan Neely's hands, not charged with a crime. Only Jordan Neely was charged with a crime. The racism in this country against the white majority is shocking. Shocking. Any racism against anyone is wrong, but this is particularly shocking. All right. Thank you for that update. Well, now we know. Cool beans. So WNBA is the fastest growing brand. I doubt that. Tony, he should sue, but he'll get nowhere from malicious prosecution. However, he's being sued in civil court by his parents who abandoned him and did nothing for him. It's just all money grubbing. Yep. Maybe she's, okay, I already got that. So I think I'm caught up in the chat. All right. So, by the way, is Ronaldo still here? If so, Ronaldo, or is he broadcasting today? Did you watch my video and what did you think of it? Because I mentioned you in it several times. Yeah. Don't forget to check out the video when we finish the program, folks. The Rabin Figlin is finally resigning from George. Took him a while. Only 70 views. Wow, that's terrible. What's going on with that? Only 70 views. Boy, YouTube really suppressing things. Yeah, it does sound familiar. It happens there as well. Only the light-skinned people get charged with the crimes. There was also a gentleman who stabbed a guy in the subway. A black guy stabbed another guy in the subway, a homeless person. He wasn't even charged with a crime. Oh, he took off to do his show. Okay. All right. Yeah. Wasn't even charged with a crime. It's just really pathetic. Okay, let's do the it's time for the Advents calendar. We're a few days behind now, so let's catch up. We have the 9th, and the last time we did this on the 6th, so we got to pull out 7, 8, 9 today. So let's go with 7. Where is 7 at? There's 9. There's 21, 17, 9. Where's 8 and 7? 6. All right, this thing is defeating me here. 9. There's 7. Okay, 6, 7. Okay. And this one is another kitty, a little kitty there. There you go, kitty's head. There's 7. Now we got to find 8. Here's 8. Okay, now I'm tracking. Okay, there we go. Number 8. And this one is a Christmas tree. So we're a little bit behind. And number 9 is down here. Oops, I didn't get it all out. This one is. It just says hello kitty. It says hello kitty. All right, so that gets us up to date with the Hello Kitty Advents calendar. Let's go to the Aldi one. Yes, this is Aldi. Okay, this is a hard one because the colors are, so 7 is over here. And this is, let's come out. It's a bell. Oh, it's a big piece of chocolate there. It's a bell. Cool beans. There's a bell, 7. I go for 8 now. Where's number 8? Number 8. There's 8 over here. This one is a squirrel. Ooh, is it a red squirrel from England? Yeah, the famous red squirrels and gray squirrels debate. Some idiot brought gray squirrels to England, and they've outbred and outcompeted the red squirrels, which they're beloved in England. Number 9. This one is, looks like a train, if I can get it out. Doesn't want to come out. There we go. It is a car, not a train, an old-fashioned car. That takes care of that. 6 pieces of chocolate. Now we're on to the Lidl And this one's going to be 7, 8, 9. There's 6s up here. We did that one already. Looking for 7 now. Looking for 7. Okay. We lost 10 people. I guess they don't like Advent's calendar. It must be satanic anti-Christians. Here's an angel. You Satanists that just left the program. Good luck to you. 7, 8. There's number 8 down here. Okay. This one is, oh, it's a star. There you go, the Star of David. It's not Star of David. That's the Christmas star. 8. Where's number 9? There's number 9 up here. Okay. And that's just a house. It's a little old house. That takes care of that. That's 9 pieces of chocolate. And we've got the tea. Let's do the tea Advents counter. 4 more people left. 6, 7. Okay, this one is chocolate caramel black tea. Okay, chocolate caramel black tea. 7, 8. This is zesty orange black tea. And number 9. Earl Grey lavender. Ooh, that one sounds good. Earl Grey lavender tea. That sounds good. Gets us up to 9 now for the tea Advent calendar. And that does our Advent calendar for today. All right, thanks for playing along, folks. Appreciate that. 6 more bags of tea. When will I ever drink it all? Who knows? I've had tea that goes back years I've never drank. All right, Chris needs to get into the Santa suit soon. Hopefully I can fit into it, Hendo, yeah. Gary Walt says, I make you smile. Okay, well, orange pico. I don't like that. They come in a pair. Chocolate looks like Monopoly pieces. Yeah, they do look like Monopoly pieces, don't they? Tiny little things here. Yeah, there you go. So there's the chocolate pieces there. So filling them out. Yeah, Charles, been injured and not getting the exercise I need to get. So yeah. Anyway, EU is trying to abolish Christmas. They're horrible people, Jan. Earl Grey is very good. I agree. I like Earl Grey tea. I like raspberry tea too. But I love Rooibos. Rooibos is my favorite tea. No doubt about it. Rooibos, Red Bush tea, is my favorite tea. It's good stuff. Good stuff. I like a red cappuccino. A lot of South Africans haven't even heard of red cappuccinos. That shocks me. A red cappuccino is Rooibos, made like a cappuccino. It's really, really good. No cigarettes. Cigarettes? No, I don't smoke. Yeah, it's a horrible habit. Expensive habit. Unhealthy habit. Addictive habit. I'm glad I made you smile, Gary. Chocolate looks a bit like Monopoly pieces. Got that already? I have 4 calendars. Yeah, I usually do 1. Now I'm up to 4. Oh, that's the tea, Charles. I read the tea. Okay. America is fortunate to have Trump. We are indeed. We are indeed. So we are very fortunate to have Trump. All right. Chris drinks only Boer Good. What is good? Red rose tea is very strong flavor. That's why it's so good. Red rose is okay. I heard of red cappuccino from you. Yeah, see, Charles? Yeah, exactly. Red cappuccino. I have introduced South Africans to red cappuccino. And Johanna van der Merwe and many, many other things. Isn't it fascinating? But who are you to talk about South Africa? Oh, stick to America's problems. What do you do? Who are you? Who are you? Well, I am who I am. I am me. And if that offends you, too bad for you. So sad for you. Not my audience here, but the detractors who run their mouths when I comment on things. Who are you to talk about South Africa? Why are you always criticizing South Africa? Well, I'm always criticizing America too. What's your point? And the European Union. Not Japan so much. Occasionally. Lots on New Zealand and Australia, though. Used to make what we called milk tea as a kid. Now it's called a red cappuccino. Okay, Ark. Well, somebody gave it a name and making a fortune off of it. Yeah, I used to drink tea with milk, and my mother would tell me it makes rubber in your stomach. I'm like, what? I don't know where that came from. And it kind of put me off tea for a while. I just stopped drinking it because she kept harping on it. So, yep. Yeah, I used to love to drink tea and dip toast in it. Anybody else do that? You ever dip toast in your tea? Oh, man. I used to love that. I used to love dipping toast in my tea. Red cappuccino when you go out. There you go, Erica. Okay. It's good stuff. Yeah. But yeah, 5 Roses African blend is my favorite, says Gary. Yeah, so I used to love dipping my toast in my tea. Now, I don't like butter on my toast, so before you get grossed out, I don't put butter or margarine on my toast. I don't care for butter or margarine. The only time I like butter is 2 places, on popcorn and on corn on the cob. That's it. Otherwise, I don't really care for butter. My thoughts on UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Well, Meerkat, I'm surprised that you don't know my thoughts on Keir Starmer. Keir Starmer is a fascist, totalitarian, leftist, anti-human, anti-white, anti-Christian scumbag who needs to be removed in a vote of no confidence forthwith. He is destroying the country. He is imprisoning people as political prisoners over speech. An 18-year-old sent to jail for 12 months for carrying a British flag on British soil is an outrage to society. In a country that came up with the Magna Carta limiting the monarchy's authority and leading towards democracy, it is beyond shocking that this happens. Oh, Marmite's disgusting. Ugh. You know, it's from Australia, but it's not an Australian invention. It's an American invention. Kraft invented Marmite. It's disgusting. Oh no, not Marmite, Vegemite. I'm sorry, I said Marmite. I meant Vegemite. Vegemite is a Kraft invention, not Marmite. That's a British thing, Marmite. Ugh. Watermelon and bread, cinnamon raisin bagel toasted with extra butters to die for. If you say so. Rusk are like what we give to toddlers to help them with their teething. Sorry, South Africa, but it's called Zwiebeck or Zwiebeck. But we say it's Zwiebeck here in America. We give that to toddlers when they're teething. I don't care for Rusk. UK be gone like Canada in 2 years. Yep. Rusk is Leka. Yeah, Marmite is gear grease. I agree. Cock Marmite is racist, says Chris. Missed your previous comments on Starmer. Thanks. No problem, Meerkat. I'm just surprised you didn't hear it. It just shows that not everybody makes all the broadcasts or catches all the news, and nobody's obligated to. So thank you for asking the question. If you haven't heard me give a position on it before, because it was a legitimate question. You're not a troll. There are trolls coming and try to get you on camera to say things. Trump to sanction Barbados. Really? For what? No, Flesh, and I corrected that. It's Vegemite, not Marmite. No, Marmite it's a vile British concoction. It's disgusting. I'm sorry. It's nasty. It's nasty. It smells funny. Ugh, just can't stand the smell of it. Ugh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. And us to skip the Marmite. Yeah. Vegemite's disgusting too. Most people never heard of Vegemite until Men at Work sang this song. She just smiled and handed me a Vegemite sandwich. And she said, do you come from a land down under? Used to make iced tea with rooibos for the kids. Ooh, that sounds really tasty, Phil. I never had cold rooibos. Wheat Bix is from Australia, but known as a South African product. Well, Woolworths is from America, but known as a South African product. Or in Australia, known as an Australian product. But what the hell? Windows just changed my wallpaper. What the hell kind of crap is that? I didn't ask for that. Right in the middle of a live broadcast, my wallpaper just changed to frickin' llamas. It's someplace in Latin America, man. What the hell is this? My wallpaper just changed. I didn't authorize that. That's very distracting. Just sitting here and all of a sudden I see a mountain scene with aqua green water, some mountain and a couple llamas staring at a camera. Vegemite and Marmite are veggie base. Boval is beef base. Okay. We come from a land of burning beds. Yeah, Biltong, sure, L my 5 pence. I'm saying here we give him Zwiebeck. But Rusk, that's like Zwiebeck. You know, it's the same thing. Teething's tough on kids. That's painful. Painful memory. Thankfully, they don't remember it usually. Big Brother's watching. Yeah, Big Microsoft is watching. Turds, I didn't authorize this change in my wallpaper. What the hell is that? I mean, it's supposed to give me a new one whenever you turn on the computer, but it's not supposed to change midstream. That's very distracting in the middle of a broadcast. There's a town in Argentina called Bovril. Okay. Yeah, Emil, it should come with a health warning. I agree 100%. Yeah. Anyway. Well, I hope you're all having a good Monday, and I hope that the Christmas season's coming along well. Most of my viewers are Christians. There are some Muslims, a few Hindus, and a few Jews who watch my program. But Jews also kind of pay attention to Christmas. But I hope that your Christmas season is going well. We're just now 16 days away. 16 days away. Yeah, Rudolph says 16 days from Christmas. Yeah, my Christmas broadcast. Yep. Yeah, AI is sneaking in, Tony. That's probably what it is. It's just, well, we're going to change his wallpaper. I don't like this. I don't like this wallpaper at all. And the problem is if you change it, then you lose. I like the rotating thing. I like how every time I come up, when I log in the computer, Bing gives me a new wallpaper. I'm okay with that. But don't do other things. Don't do other things. So when I put my new laptop into effect, it wanted to link to my Windows account. I linked to my Windows account. It started downloading stuff from my other computer, which was stored in the cloud. I don't want it on my computer. I'm trying to save space. What's your prediction on crypto? it all hinges on the Trump administration approach to crypto. I think that if Elon Musk has any influence, that it'll be a positive year for crypto because he's got self-interest with his Doge crypto. And Elon Musk is promoting crypto. And if he has the ear of Trump, it could be a good year. But yeah, I'm not a fan of crypto. I think it's just another tulip speculation. And people claim it's secure. It's just nonsense. I mean, this is what I believe in. Something you can put your fingers on. Gold, silver, specie. Something you can put your fingers on. You can touch this. You know, I don't believe in this crypto nonsense. Anyway, Trump loves Bitcoin. I don't know that he loves Bitcoin. Yeah. Hey, Marilyn, how you doing there? Marilyn, are the grandkids excited about Christmas? Are they ready for Christmas? I'm sorry, I can't be there to play Santa Claus for them. But I wonder if they're excited about Christmas. That would be pretty interesting to see. Kids tend to get excited about Christmas. Christmas is a colonial thing. Why do Marmites celebrate? No, Christmas is a Christian thing. It's not colonial. It's Christian. Upgrade to the space age plastic money. I have plastic money, but I don't care for it because it encourages and facilitates poor financial discipline and poor financial behavior. Yep. We have a friend who makes dough for Dash, and you pay what you can while it's successful. I don't understand what that means, Beth. So they sell dough, and if you have $5, you pay $5. If you don't, you pay $1. Well, that hardly seems fair. Too warm for Christmas, Somerset. Well, yeah, no, Garrett. It's South Africa, Southern Hemisphere Christmas. I never got accustomed to that. I never got accustomed to living in the Southern Hemisphere, and it's 35 to 40 degrees at Christmas time, and there's no snow. That's just sacrilege. It doesn't seem right. Oh, by golly, have a holly jolly Christmas this year. Never did adjust to that. Which... Christmas is something to look forward to in winter, and New Year's is an event to look forward to as we turn the page on New Year. Both occur in wintertime. What else are we going to celebrate when it's cold outside? When it's cold in South Africa, what do you celebrate? You just moan about how cold it is. At least in America, we look forward to Christmas. And the Northern Hemisphere, we'll look forward to Christmas when it's cold. Yeah. Yes, I know you're used to a hot Christmas. It's not my cup of tea. I like the Southern Hemisphere, but it's not my cup of tea. Funny thing about the Southern Hemisphere, it has less surface space than the rest of the planet, and it has less productive surface space, although there's a lot of mineral wealth in the Southern Hemisphere. Of course, there's plenty in the Northern Hemisphere, too. Anyway, but yeah, plastic money is difficult to flatten once folded. Keith, you're right about that. You can't, excuse me, you can't flatten that plastic money, man. It just doesn't bend and come back. Yeah. Yeah. Also, plastic money can be taken from you remotely. You can be locked out of it. I mean, this is the problem with cryptocurrency. So I've laid this out many times, but some of the audience have never heard me say this. So let me say this very clearly now, unequivocally, so it's clear to everybody. One of the problems with cryptocurrency and with digital currency, well, digital currency specifically, I should say, make the difference between crypto and digital. I mean, you can say it's the same thing, but I'm saying a digital currency is currency backed by a government that they issue. So a digital currency issued by government. The problem with it is that when the government determines that you're a threat to them, they can turn off your account. If they want to play the climate faith and religion that they believe in, they will track your carbon usage based on their estimate of how much carbon it takes for the things you buy and things you consume and the gasoline or petrol you burn. And then, you are on a trip and you pull into a petrol station, you use your card, you put it in, and you start pumping the petrol out, and at 5 gallons, it stops. You've exceeded your carbon footprint for the month. That's it. You can't have any more. Now, all that's going to do is undermine the economy and facilitate criminal activity because people who still have plenty of carbon credits will simply let you buy fuel at a elevated price. No, we drive over to the snow to play in the snow and get a cold, then complain about having a cold, says Richard. Yes, Tony Nage, they're trying to play with our lives. That's exactly what's going on here. Yep, that's exactly what this is all about. It's all about control, folks. And if you don't believe that, then you're not really paying attention. I'm sorry. It's about control. It's about controlling you. It's about controlling me. It's about making decisions about our lives, and we have no say over it. That's what this is all about. By the way, the Christmas Village with the trains is coming along here at the Wyatt residence. And once it's done, I'll make a video, and I'll share it with you all. We did that last year. I'll share it with the lights on and the lights off, because it's not so easy to see with the lights off. Yeah, just watched George Story. What George Story? What is that? I don't know what you're talking about, Gus. Yes, and there are some people getting much richer. Cash is king. Yes, it is, Pablo Charlie. I mean, but again, I have lots of credit cards, and I have no problem using credit cards. Credit cards are fantastic. It's a safer way than getting robbed because you get a wallet stuffed full of cash. It's very helpful in a bind. And a perfect example I always give is this, is that back in the 1980s, I was at university, and I went to Columbus, Ohio, which is 125 kilometers from where I was living at and going to university, at Ohio University. So I got to Lancaster, which is almost to Columbus, and my gear shift broke. I pushed down on it, excuse me, and the plastic inside the Volkswagen Jetta gear shift snapped. It just broke because it was old. And so I had to take the gear shift, which goes up and down and back and forth, and hold it manually in position to shift the gears. Oh, that's only going to work so well. Anyway, and I was on a highway which had traffic lights, which is very annoying. These robots are on this highway. You have to slow down every few miles. So I was not too far from the Eastland Mall, which is really located on the south side of Columbus, southeast. So I don't know why it's called Eastland Mall. But I went to the Eastland Mall, and there's a Volkswagen dealership on the way there. It was a Saturday, and I got there just before noon. And I can't remember if I installed it. I think I installed it. They had the part, and they were closing. The parts place had that gear shift. So I bought it, and I went out because I had some tools in the car, if I remember correctly, and I replaced it and mounted a new gear shift in there and connected the gear and put it in. I didn't have cash on me to pay for it. It was not cheap. It was $100 some, but I had a credit card. I used my credit card to pay for it. That's what the credit card is great for, an emergency. You know, you can't hire cars if you don't have a credit card. Kind of frustrating. That's something that's already been in place for a long time. What is going on with Intel? Intel's in a lot of trouble. It's been poorly run by the chief executive for several years, and it missed the AI revolution. NVIDIA is riding the wave. NVIDIA is the company. NVIDIA provides my video card, all my computers. They make fantastic stuff. They're making lots of chips for the artificial intelligence revolution. NVIDIA is the one making all the money, which is what Intel used to do. Intel missed this revolution, and they're paying a steep price for it. But Intel's chips are in everything. I mean, a laptop has an i7 core. This has an i9 core. This gaming machine, which I had made 3.5 years ago, has an i9 10700F microprocessor, which is incredible. So, yeah. Eastland, you have to leave your bicycle outside the mall. You come out, the wheels are going. Chris, do you know Eastland? I refuse to have a credit card. I have a debit card. Well, that's fine in your context, Erica, but in America, that's not a good policy. Let me explain why. People have debit cards because they only spend what's in their account, their checking account. And that's fine. I get that. It helps you with your financial discipline. But in America, if your debit card, which looks like a credit card, it functions like a credit card up to the amount of money in your bank account, is compromised and someone steals your number, you have no protection. However, Congress passed many, many years ago legislation that prevents Americans from paying more than $50 when their credit card is stolen or lost. If your credit card is stolen or lost, the only requirement you have is to notify your carrier within a reasonable amount of time. A reasonable amount of time is not defined. For most people, it's within, they do it within 2, 3, or 4 days, they tell people, but banks will tolerate even longer. Now, the banks can charge you the $50. Someone steals your card and they spend $3,000 on it. The bank can charge, yeah, I know you're talking about Pretoria. The bank can charge, that's Menlyn, not Eastland. Or are we mixing things up there? The bank can charge you up to $50, but everything beyond that, that's on the bank for allowing the fraud to happen. Congress protects consumers in that way. I've had a couple credit cards compromised, not by me, but by merchants and by others. And I've had to cancel those credit cards in the past over the years. And one of them, somebody booked a plane ticket from London to Hong Kong on my credit card when I lived in Botswana. Excuse me? Stop. Yes, you have a limit, but Erica, will you get the money back from the bank? Or do you have to fight them? I don't have to fight anybody. The bank can't charge more than $50 or they're going to be in trouble with the government. And so banks usually don't charge you anything. So that's a big difference here in America, which others don't have. So just saying. I'm not saying it's a better system. I'm just saying that's the system we have. Banks covered me for losses even when I didn't see my losses through. Yeah, well, it depends on the bank, Keith. That's really great. And that's great to hear. I don't know who you have, which your bank you have there, NatWest, or who you have. But that's very good of them to do that. But I don't know what the law says in the UK. I do know this. The checks written in the US and UK are interchangeable for people who don't know that. Yep. Eastland, Pretoria, Silverton, Calista. Gotcha, Mama Lodi. Gotcha, Chris. Yeah, I don't go there. Yeah, I wasn't saying Eastland, though. I was saying Eastland. Barclays or HSBC is the question. Yep. No. Well, Nat West. I'm just laughing because I mentioned it. Leah says she has a credit card, but she doesn't use it. She uses her son. Okay. Well, the problem with credit cards is a lot of people go credit card money. No, you got to pay that bill. In America, and I think it's the same in the UK and even South Africa, if I'm not mistaken, you get a grace period. So in America, let me explain this. This is something lost on people who don't know credit cards. I'm going to give the American example. You guys can relate it to South Africa, UK, or wherever, or Ireland, wherever you're at. In America, you typically get a grace period. Most credit cards have no fee associated with them. Some have a $75, $100 fee per year for having the card. Typically, those are ones that grant you miles for flights or something like that, so there's a fee. But many cards give you a cash rebate back, so that's a capital return. It's not income. You don't have to file it as income. It's your money being returned to you, so it's not income. And the reason for that is that the credit card issuers charge the merchants a fee in order to use the credit card network and process this, because it takes money, and that's how they make money. They also make tons of money from people who don't pay their amount off every month. So American Express, until the late 1980s, was what's known as a charge card. And we used to have like Macy's cards and Sears cards and Kmart charge cards. And so you would be issued what's essentially credit, and you could buy up to the limit, but you had to pay it off every month. You couldn't carry it over. If you went over, there was a fee. You could lose your card. Those are charge cards. American Express quickly realized in the late 80s that the model they had was no longer going to be the profit of the future. The profit of the future was to switch the way credit cards are doing it and let people pile the debt on and then charge them outrageous interest rates, and you make money hand over fist, which is what they began doing as well. So you get 21-day grace period normally. That means that your bill is cut, and you've got 21 days from the end of the cycle to pay your bill in full. Now, let's say you charge $1,000 on your credit card, and you have a 19% interest rate. And that's not outrageous. There's a lot of credit cards with 19%. Some are 27%, 19%. So January 1st is the date your card is due, okay? Let's say that's the end of the grace period. If you don't pay it by January 1st, you pay 19%, not from January 1st, but from the date of the first charge on there that wasn't paid in full. And then if you pay your bill, part of it next month, you still pay that rate. You keep paying that rate until all of it's gone. So what happens for somebody who gets in debt is paying off minimal amount, pay $35, pay $50 this month and leave the $1,900 balance on there, let it pile up. You do not get out from under that burden of paying interest on any of those charges. And you pay interest on the new charges. So while you're paying interest, it's not just the ones, let's say that you put $1,000 on your credit card and you paid $50 off. Well, the next month you put another $1,000. Now you have $2,000 and you paid another $50 off. So you paid $100 off, but you've got a lot of interest on top of that now. The next month you buy $500 and you pay off $500. Well, then you pay off that $500. You paid off $500 from the beginning of the interest period. And so the new $500 is also earning interest now for the credit card issuer. That's why people get in trouble with credit cards. You must pay your credit cards off in full every month. And don't feel bad for the bank. They're still making money. They charge the merchants 2 to 5% for every transaction, depending on the nature of the transaction and the safety and security of it involved. So there you go. That's why people never get out from credit card debt. People come to me and say, oh, I want to save money. And they're paying 1% in a savings account. Why are you paying that? You have credit card debt. Pay off your credit card. That's the best way to get savings. Yeah, but I have no money. Yeah, and you'll have no money if you keep paying 19% interest and you're getting 1% in a bank account. It's stupid. It's stupid. Pay off the debt. Pay off the credit card. Get rid of it. Get to zero debt on the credit card. Then only use your credit card when you need it for an emergency or for travel or for an unexpected expense you don't have the cash to cover. Then you can start saving and investing. But you don't save and invest when you're paying off credit cards. Now, mortgage, that's different. My mortgage interest rate is lower than what I make on my return on my savings, and not my savings, but on my investments. My investments far exceed what I pay for my mortgage. So I could pay off my mortgage or make more money by investing. I make more money by investing than paying off my mortgage. I still pay off my mortgage every month, but you get my point. Vilma said, I cleared off one of my son's credit cards in full and asked him to stop spending you don't have. Exactly. That's not the purpose of credit card. It's not to spend money you don't have. But the bank's like that. Seems Hawk Tua girl took people for millions in a crypto scam. I don't know who that is. First bond was with Barclays, okay? MBS. Been there, done that. Never again, says Tony. You talking about the credit card stuff? Yep. Household bills, water, heat, electricity. Ah, yes, Tony. And my household bills, I pay for my gas bill, my natural gas. I pay for my electricity bill, which is almost nothing now because of solar panels. And I can't pay for my water bill because they won't take credit card unless you charge. But those two don't charge me anything. I pay for my car insurance. All those utility bills paid for with a credit card. All of them give me money back, lowering my bill. Yeah. So yeah. Yep. I didn't twig that my credit on my credit card was like a mini mortgage. Must pay minimum bank. Got peeved. So I ditched the system. Only borrowed small amounts for necessities when job searching. Well, Keith, the problem is that people don't understand credit cards. We have a world of financially illiterate people. A world of financially illiterate people. It's one of the biggest failings of public education in America is that we don't teach financial literacy. It irritates me to no end. You don't have to become a banker by going to high school, but when you graduate high school, you should understand what a checking account is, what a savings account is, what a savings bond is, what a U.S. savings bond is, what a treasury bill, what a treasury note is, how a mortgage works, how credit card interest rates work, how a student loan works, how a car loan works, how a home equity mortgage works. You should understand that. It's not hard to understand. We should teach that to every kid in school. Teach them financial responsibility. And you should also talk to them about investing in savings so they know what to expect when they go in the world. And you need someone who's focused. The reason why I am not in economic trouble, despite Biden inflation crushing my income, is that I save and invest and I'm wise with my money. Otherwise, I'd be in trouble. Oh, Sandlam. She was involved with Sandlam. Buy low, sell high. That's the spirit, Chris. It doesn't always work that way. Yep. It doesn't always work that way. Richard's something was green. What, the card was green? Beth says preach. Well, thank you. I am preaching. I'm preaching. If I'm preaching the converted, that's even better. But if I'm not preaching the converted, if I'm preaching to the uninformed, that's not a derogatory comment. If you're uninformed, that doesn't mean you're ignorant. You are ignorant, but not ignorant in a stupid sense, but a rude sense, but ignorant as in you don't know the facts. Do not pay the minimum amount on a credit card. It's just absolutely insane. Make your money work for you. Let's see. All right, this card gets me 2% back. Okay, that's that one. This one gets me 1.75% back. That one gets me airline miles. I don't pay for any of those cards. This one gets me 1.75%. This one gets me 1.5%. This one gets me credit store credit, which I use all the time, and it comes fast. It's like 2%. This one gets me cash rewards, and this one gets me 2%, 1.75% back. Yeah. Exactly, RJ. I use mine as revolving credit. So my election campaign, I needed $4,800 to pay for the radio ads. It was expensive, $4,800 to pay for radio ads just before the election, which I lost. And I put that on my credit card. I had to pay a fee, but I put it on my credit card. And then I was able to pay it off with my tax refund. Yeah, part of it. The rest got a savings, yeah. So it's just that one of the kids' subjects was economics. Well, that's a good idea. I think President Biden, you thank him for your defense stocks portfolio. But a financial course won't help with math. Well, yeah, Garrett, but you don't have to have math skills to understand these things. So, I mean, look, I talk about, X over Y and algorithms and algebra and calculus and geometry and trigonometry. No, I didn't mention any of that. Simple things. You don't have to be a math genius to understand. I was terrible at mathematics, but I'm not bad at investing. It's very easy to explain to someone. Here you go. All right, so here you go. All right, let's see what I got here. I guess a couple of ones. Okay. Let's go with some 20s. I got a few 20s. It's the most money I've had in ages in my pocket. Okay, here we go. So, all right. So, if you use a credit card and you spend $60 this month, okay, and you spend $60 next month, and all you pay out of that is the minimum of $10 this month and $10 again next month. So that's $80. You've paid $20 off. But at a 19% interest rate, you're still in the hole. You still owe more than you borrowed because it climbs so quickly. Annualized rate of 19% is quick. At 19%, the cost of what you borrowed doubles in less than 3 years. Think about that. People just don't get it. Don't get it. It's taken me several years to get to the point where I'm paying more in principal than I am in interest on my home mortgage. And it's well south of 4% interest rate. Imagine 19% interest rate. It's crazy. My granddaughter got her degree in business administration. My family says she has more money than God. Well, that could be. Chris's mom was a certified accountant. I assume that's what that stands for. Yep. It's the reason why BlackRock recruited Chris. He's a math genius. I'm not a math genius, but I'm certainly a good analyst. I'm a good analyst. Although YouTube doesn't like me being an analyst. And the perfect case of that is my Rabin Figland That's a tough name to pronounce because you want to say something else. My Arabian Figlin video only has a handful of views. Wow, that's shockingly low. 85 views. I put a lot of effort and time into that. Yep, you'd think at least the DA'd watch it because they're angry at me. But nope, nobody's watching it. Anyway, whatever. I'll sit back and play. What is it that I'm playing most of the time now? Total War Medieval 3. Yeah, it's not my favorite version. I prefer to play Hearts of Iron, but it keeps crashing on my Windows 10 machine. I can't get it to work properly. You play for a long time, it just crashes. Anyway, Einstein said nothing more powerful than compound interest in time. That is true. That is true. It's shocking how much it piles up over time. And the hard thing is convincing 18-year-old of this. I became convinced of because this is what happened. I'll tell you the story right now. I've said this before. So this is what happened. I never had any money. Especially in high school, I grew up in poor circumstances. Occasionally, my mom would slip me a couple bucks, but I had nothing. Didn't have my high school ring, even though I was a varsity athlete. I didn't have a car like everyone else had. I didn't have anything. I didn't have a varsity, none of this stuff. Varsity jacket, none of it. I mean, I'm not crying. I'm not complaining, but I was just fine without it. But I never had any of that because there was no money for it. When I played tennis, my tennis racket cost $3, $2.99 from Benjamin Franklin discount stores. No kidding, $2.99. Imagine that today. It was a tennis racket, but it was poor quality, probably made in China. And I was playing tennis with it in a match, and I hit the ball in the center so hard, right in the middle of the racket, it snapped the head in half. So I had to borrow someone's racket to finish the match. So, I mean, that's the kind of childhood I had, my teen years. But I went into the Army went into college at the age of 17, had a student loan, used some of that money to buy clothes for school and to take care of a few necessities, and then got a ride down to college, went to my dorm room, set myself up, and went from there. But I found myself quickly running out of money. I had my first debit card. Not debit card, but ATM card. My first ATM card that was new ATM. It was free back then, cost nothing. You could do as many withdrawals as you want every day, and there was no minimum. So I used to go, I'd get some money, $10 for lunch, and I'd come and get $5, then $15. And next thing you know, I'm having no money. And so I wasn't developing good spending habits. So I went and got a job, working in a cafeteria, making minimum wage to supplement that. And that proved not to be enough. And then after 1 year, I realized I was wasting my time, didn't have the right discipline. I was too young and not prepared. So I went in the Army and I went overseas. And when I wasn't on maneuvers and exercises, which was 2 or 3 weeks of every month, every weekend, and then during the week when I was back in garrison, I was in the club 5-6 nights a week. And I didn't drink a lot, but I'd get, something to eat, a bratwurst or a schnitzel, usually a bratwurst or a currywurst with a brötchen, 5 marks, and then go get a Coke, a couple more marks and a beer. And, I didn't make much money. I cleared $159 every 2 weeks was what I was making as a private. $159. But I had accommodation. I stayed in the barracks. I had meals. I could eat in the cafeteria. So I didn't have to spend money on that. But $159 doesn't go very far. But I managed to use it to travel all over Europe, went everywhere on that money. The dollar was strong. But I found myself 3 weeks in the month, every month, out of money. My roommates, both of whom grew up in better conditions and had a bit of money of their own, out from California, Tim and Bob from California, they would loan me money. And after a couple months of that, because at the beginning of the month, I'd pay them back right away. And after a couple months of me paying them back, and then I had that much less, I'm like, something's wrong here. I got to do something. So I eased up on the number of currywursts, and I eased up on the number of chocolate bars. And not because I was fat, I was skinny as a rail. And I eased up on the number of Schuss beer that I was drinking. Yeah, and I took it a little bit easier, and I started socking money away. But I'd already been saving because I'd forced myself to buy a savings bond from the time I came in the Army. So I started learning good financial habits at the age of 18, 19, which was good. And my first, mutual fund was shortly after that. And then stock trades came not too long after that. So, yep. Peter Lynch. Oh, no, Peter Lynch was not a god, but a genius for me. I read Peter Lynch's books back in the 1980s and 1990s, and brilliant ideas. And so I still follow Peter Lynch's investment advice to this day. I don't invest in something I don't understand. It kept me from investing in crypto, and that's fine. It kept me from investing in Enron, which is really fine because I didn't lose my butt like a lot of people did, because I couldn't understand. Beth says, love those Ben Franklin stores. Yeah, I don't think they're around anymore. I love them. Used to have Ames department stores, Ben Franklin. Yep. Interesting situation developing in the UK. Syrian war will soon be fought on our streets. New refugees support a president. Yeah, exactly. Certified bookkeeper. My dad's qualified chartered accountant. Okay. Rich man, poor man. Robert Kiyosaki. My folks gave us a lederhosen. Everyone laughed, but that pigskin was indestructible. Yeah, lederhosen are great, man. Penny doubled every day makes you a millionaire in months' time. Months' time. Yeah, well, yeah, but doubling that every day becomes increasingly more difficult. Anyway, alrighty, folks, it's been an hour and a half, and I still got about 68 people here. Thanks for being here. Is the Ronaldo on right now? Let me see if he's on. Let me see if he's on the air right now. Yeah, he's on. He's got about 68 people. We got 68. Oh, he's tied with us. Do I want to send him my content? Let's do that. Hey, please go watch my video on the George deputy mayor. Okay, what's come on YouTube? Boy, YouTube is being very difficult this past week. It's had some challenges. I'm just accessing the site half the time. Okay. Come on, YouTube. Good Lord. All right, so I'm going to wrap up here, folks, and you'll be automatically redirected to Ronaldo, the 65. You're here. We'll see how many show up. I'll catch you over there, all right? You don't have to go there, Brian. You can just shut it off. Anyway, thanks. It was sad to see Assad lose control of Syria in only 5. It was 11 days, actually, Jonathan. 11 days. It appears like 5, but it was actually 11 days it occurred over. All right, cool beans. Yeah, on the 16th, I'll probably do something. What day is that? I have to check because I've got... Yeah, it's a Monday. Yeah, it's next week. Yeah, I'll do something on... what do we call that now? It's Geluftedag, but they also call it... What is the day now? Reconciliation Day. We'll do something on it. Okay, yep, absolutely. All right, cool beans, folks. Thanks for being here. Say hi to Ronaldo, and I'll see you over there. Tell him I sent you, and see how many people show up. Cheers. Thanks, guys. Merry Christmas, and we'll see you all later on. Cheers, cheers. Oh, congratulations, Richard Kuhn, on your wedding anniversary. Aha, you slipped that in there. Gotcha.